Yiaga Africa, a civil society organization involved in the monitoring of the Gubernatorial and State Assembly elections in various states of the country, has condemned various acts of violence, voter suppression, and vote buying during the elections. A board member of the organization, Ezenwa Nwagwu, made this known at a press briefing in Abuja to highlight the organization's observations from Nwagwu, who condemned the deaths that occurred in some states, called on security agencies to ensure the perpetrators of infractions and their sponsors are brought to book.
The governorship and state assembly elections were signposted with voter suppression, electoral violence, electoral impunity, vote buying, and capture of the resource management system by political thugs in Delta, Lagos, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Kano, and Taraba states. Yiaga Africa is saddened by the cases of attacks on voters, INEC officials, election observers, and personnel of the EFCC by political thugs. These stakeholders suffered grievous bodily harm and psychological trauma. Reports also indicate that an average of 8 fatalities were recorded within the last 24 hours. These election-related deaths are unacceptable and highly condemnable. It is important for security agencies to hold the political thugs and their sponsors accountable for these deaths and attacks. Yiaga Africa condemns in unequivocal terms acts of voter suppression fueled by ethnic profiling, political thuggery, and desperation to secure electoral victory at all costs. The flagrant abuse of the Constitution and the 2022 Electoral Act, registered voters and fellow citizens were denied the opportunity to vote in some states. Voting is a constitutionally guaranteed right of voters that requires free and fair participation of all eligible voters in a peaceful process. A denial of this right undermines the credibility of election outcomes. Yiaga Africa further condemns the cases of voter inducement reported across the country in the election, as this act perpetuates electoral corruption and political inequality. All 3 states, reports received so far indicate that voting did not happen in 5% of polling units in Delta State. Watching the vote observers and other observers present were prevented from observing the local government collation process by police personnel present. A similar report was received from Okrika local government area of Rivers State. Only the PDP party agents were allowed to observe the process. Thugs organized by the local government chairman were stationed at the entrance of the collation center. Also in Gokana local government area of Rivers State, security personnel prevented all observers present from observing the collation process. Only party agents for the APC, PDP, SDP were allowed to access the collation center. Yiaga Africa calls on Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure proper oversight of the results collation process and ensure that results declared under duress or in breach of the Electoral Act, INEC guidelines or manual are reviewed in line with Section 65 of the Constitution. We call on the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security Access agents to ensure effective and adequate deployment of security personnel to collation centers to properly secure INEC officials, observers, media reporters, and party agents deployed, and arrest offenders disrupting the process and causing violence.